Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
We're chatting with our guest, always safety first, 811 Megaphone Man.
Call 811 before you dig.
You never stray from your mission of letting homeowners, landscapers, and excavators know you should always call 811 before you dig.
Call 811.
Call for both small and big jobs. And 2 working days in advance?
811.
Any parting words? And I'm guessing they will be.
Call 811 before you dig.
Brought to you by Southwest Gas.
811.
Welcome to Disneyland.
Get excited to join the Disneyland Resort 70th celebration. Because it's not a celebration without you. With all the decor, the new character outfits, and dazzling shows. Everyone's excited to join. Delight in special 70th experiences, like an all-new World of Color show, the returning favorite Paint the Night Parade, and so much more, only for a limited time. So come join us for this once-in-a-lifetime celebration with a special ticket offer as low as $100 per day with a special 4-day, 1-park-per-day ticket. Total price $400. Valid May 16 through August 14, 2025. Park ticket and reservation required. Visit Disneyland.com/70 ticket offer for details. Offering subject to capacity restrictions and change without notice.
Make a precision decision with Precision Air.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gina Bryan, owner of Precision Air and Plumbing, the Valley's #1 ranked AC company.
Wait a minute, honey. That's my line.
Well, Eric, not anymore. And people don't know we truly are a family-owned business because you always do the commercials.
But I like it that way.
If your family needs quality AC or plumbing, call the #1 rated family-owned business in Arizona.
Well, can I at least tell them how to reach us?
Go ahead, Eric.
Call us today at 602-FIX-MY-AC. That's 602-FIX-MY-AC.
If you know, you go. At Superstar Car Wash, we're proud to have over 550,000 members. Be in the know and try what everyone loves today. Text SuperAZ to 27800 to get 50% off our best wash. Terms and conditions apply.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. It's the lunch break.
A introductory press conference, a series win, and a Kevin Durant trade right around the corner. All of that, the focus of this, the Wednesday edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. Chris Schubert here with you. Appreciate you joining us on the Wednesday edition of the show. You can stream us over on the KDUS AM 1060 app, or you can watch the show over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Producer Evan behind the glass taking your phone calls, 480-864-1060. We start in an unfamiliar place for this program, especially during baseball season. We don't normally open with a sport that isn't reacting to the baseball game from the day prior. But today, we start in a different place because yesterday, our first chance to hear from the new basketball coach for the Phoenix Suns, Jordan Ott.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
And I'll take you behind the curtain just a little bit. Normally, producer Evan knows where I'm going to go most times on the show. It's what the morning meetings are about. He knows the take that I'm going to have. He knows the topic that we're going to discuss, helps him get prepared, helps him know where he wants to interject. He knows how to get me back on track if I'm off course. That's what the role of the producer is on the show. Today, I told him, we're going to open the show with Jordan Ott's press conference, and I'm not telling you what my take is on the press conference. He is in the dark just as much as all of you are in the dark, because I wanted to get a natural reaction to how producer Evan feels about this, because I sat down, not yesterday when it happened. I didn't want to be a part of the whole ecosystem of everybody tweeting and talking about it and seeing the live chat and everybody discussing Jordan Ott's introductory press conference in real time. No, I wanted to get to it in a quiet moment where it could just be me and Jordan Ott and Brian Gregory, and I can just get vibes myself. Didn't want to be influenced by anybody else. So last night, sat down after the Diamondbacks were done. I said, all right, now it's time to sit down and see what this Jordan Ott press conference is all about. And I found myself with one major takeaway from listening to Jordan Ott yesterday in his introductory press conference. And while he may not have wowed you with his energy level, while he may not have wowed you with his emotion, although there was one spot of emotion we'll get to here in a second, my overwhelming feeling after watching Jordan Ott answer all those questions, handle everything that the media here in Arizona wanted to throw at him, I came to this place. Jordan Ott is the person working in that building that I have the most confidence in that organization. The worst part about that is he is the guy with the smallest amount of say. I came out of yesterday's press conference thrilled that the Suns had hired Jordan Ott as their next head coach. He checked all the boxes for me in what I wanted to hear him say at that press conference. But the problem is, he's not the one that's going to oversee a Kevin Durant trade. He's not the one that actually is putting this roster together. Is he going to have a say in that process? Sure. Any good general manager is going to include his head coach in the roster building process. But Jordan Ott is not going to have the say. He's not going to have the final say. Yet after listening to Matt Ishbia at the end of the season, after listening to Brian Gregory in his introductory press conference, after listening to Brian Gregory yesterday, and now listening to Jordan Ott being introduced to all of us in a press conference, he is the guy that I believe in the most. I believe in the guy that is a first-year head coach. I believe in a guy that's been an assistant everywhere else. That's the guy that should be in charge of all of this. Unfortunately, he's only the head coach of the team. He's not going to be making the Kevin Durant trade. That is a job reserved for Matt Ishbia and Matt Ishbia alone. He's not going to be deciding on who to draft and who not to draft. That's going to be some combination of Ishbia and Gregory and Bartelstein and perhaps some level of say of Jordan Ott. If you hired Jordan Ott as the general manager and that's the press conference that I got, I'd have more confidence in Jordan Ott than I would Brian Gregory. That is my overwhelming takeaway. The most impressed I've been throughout this entire offseason was yesterday. The command of the room, understanding where he's been, not wanting to delve into the past, wanting to leave the Suns' past in the Suns' past, wanting to focus on the future, putting an emphasis on connecting with the players, putting an emphasis on being an effective communicator, that being half the battle of having the buy-in from the players. And honestly, my favorite part of the whole press conference, when he was asked what was a fair question about his ties to Michigan State, how fired up he was. It's the most fired up he was about a single answer, saying that he earned this opportunity. He wasn't handed this opportunity because he went to Michigan State. And instead of doing what apparently everybody else around this organization does, and that is embrace the Michigan State ties, Jordan Ott confronted them face on and said, my resume speaks for itself. Not the fact that I started coaching at Michigan State. How about the 12 years that I cut my teeth in the NBA, working for Mike Budenholzer, for Steve Nash, for Kenny Atkinson, for all of these coaches. Kenny Atkinson, 60-win team in Cleveland. The success that Brooklyn had when they had their big three. He has a track record, a resume that speaks for itself, and he wanted to stand on that. I thought it was really interesting. There was an earlier question that he was asked. I forget what the question was, but he made sure to note that he's not in this to prove people wrong or to prove people right. He's just in this to be a good coach and to move along the path of the Suns achieving their goals. But when it came to that question, when it came to being asked about his Michigan State ties, he made sure to let everybody know that he was going to dispel that part of this. He wants to prove that part of this incorrect. So I loved that answer. He's the only person that seemingly isn't embracing with open arms the Phoenix Spartans. That energy, the confidence that he spoke with, for that answer in particular, led me to have the takeaway today. That's the guy I'm most confident in. That's the guy that I believe in the most out of this new power trio that the Suns have put together this offseason.
I was so impressed yesterday. And to be honest, based on the morning meeting, like your immediate reaction of I'm not telling you what I think, I was like, oh, he hated the press conference.
Loved it.
And so I was confused sitting in my chair for a while. But no, I thought if you wanted somebody to be charismatic and work the room, it's not really what you got.
Let me stop you right there. If you wanted that, you got it last year. You got it with Coach Bud. Coach Bud in his introductory press conference gave you the charisma. He gave you the energy. He gave you the feel-good story of an Arizona kid returning home to coach the team that he grew up rooting for. And he had the energy, and he had the emotion, and he had everything that people said Jordan Ott didn't have yesterday. Where'd it get you? Where did that get you? You don't have to win the press conference. You can't lose the press conference, but you don't have to win the press conference. But in my mind, Jordan Ott won me over yesterday. He won me over. I thought he won the press conference. Why? Because he's the only person out of anybody over there that I think is even remotely close to moving things in the right direction.
When we were talking about the Cardinals draft, we used one line a couple times. Substance over sizzle.
Yes.
That was yesterday's press conference. It was, here's what I did. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's how we're going to run things. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. It was straight to the point. I'm coming right at you. Here's what I've done. Michigan State, push that to the side. That doesn't matter. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to attack player development. People are going to work hard. We're going to build a culture. We're going to, not aligned, but together. It's a big thing he focused on.
Although we did get one. We did get
the alignment.
And it was a very good job by Brian Gregory. He's not unaware. He referred to it as a buzzword. He kind of chuckled and he used it one time, and I thought it was a good usage of the word. And now we can move on.
Comic relief.
Yes.
A little bit. I respect that he's able to make fun of himself.
100%. Again, yesterday is the best I've felt in a long time about this basketball team. But again, I feel good about the coach. I still don't feel good about the general manager. I still don't feel good about the involvement of the owner. And unfortunately, that matters more than how great of a job we thought Jordan Ott did yesterday. What matters more is how meddling is Matt Ishbia going to be when it comes to a Kevin Durant trade? How involved is Matt Ishbia going to be when it comes to putting together a roster? And how much say is Jordan Ott going to have? I hope it is a heavy say, because you listened to him yesterday, humble, understood the hard work it took to get here, understood the hard work it's going to take to stay in this position. Now, they're just words. We have said with this team and a bunch of other teams here in this town, actions are going to speak louder than the words. But when the words so far this offseason have not been very good around the Phoenix Suns, I'll take some good words. I was happy to have some good words yesterday. I was happy to feel good coming out of a press conference yesterday. I just hate that the most confident I felt is when the head coach speaks. He felt like the adult in the room. The problem is the kids are in charge. That's the problem. The adult in the room, Jordan Ott, isn't the one that's going to say, I want this trade package for Kevin Durant over that trade package. Or this is the guy I want to draft instead of that guy. These are the players we should target in free agency. Now, maybe I'll be proven wrong, and Jordan Ott, because of, hey, maybe they're telling the truth.
The alignment.
Maybe that it will be a more collaborative process, and Jordan Ott will be able to put his fingerprints on the roster. That would make me even more confident about the direction that this team could potentially go in. But it is an uphill battle for the head coach to win these tug of wars over a GM and an owner. You're the low man on the totem pole. But unfortunately, the low man on the totem pole is the only one that's making sense right now. He's the only one that is giving at least me the confidence that this team has a chance of turning this boat around. And we have said before, you want to turn a big boat around, that takes a while. That takes some time, takes some effort. So this is not going to be a quick fix. And I liked that Jordan Ott embraced that. He said, it's not going to happen overnight. It's all about the process. It's all about being deliberate and slowly checking off the boxes and moving towards your end goal, moving towards your North Star. I was impressed yesterday.
I was impressed, and I was happy to see him take a focus on player development.
Well, that's his background.
I was going to say that, and that's something that he's done quite a bit in. And, after his press conference, he kind of got into, the whole media scrum thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Dwayne Rankin asked him a question, what he's learned from every head coach he's worked with. And the one, Kenny Atkinson, he talked about being a player development guy and then switching or developing the tactician part of his game. And when he went back to work with Kenny Atkinson after Brooklyn and then came back to work with him in Cleveland, he had seen that come full circle. And so those are the things that I like to see is he's watched coaches come from assistant to head coach and then head coach to best team in the East. That, to me, is a resume that speaks for itself. A guy who's been around the league, and like you said, his background is in player development. That's what this team needed.
And that's why I want him to be extremely involved in the decision-making process. It's why I said he's the guy that gives me the most confidence. He was there when Brooklyn turned it around. Said it yesterday, went from 20 wins to where they were able to achieve, what they were able to achieve there in Brooklyn. Was there in Cleveland last year when they went from being a good team to being the best team in the East in the regular season. And so there's value in all of those stops. There's value in all of those learning experiences. And guess what? For a team that right now has to ace the draft when they have a limited capital, you need a player development guy to be like, nah, that's the guy I want. That's the guy that's going to help fit this roster. And Brian Gregory doesn't have those chops that Jordan Ott does. I would like to see, and again, this is not the way you design it. You'd like to have a GM who has that background that's able to do it. But I want Brian Gregory to defer to Jordan Ott a little bit here. Because, again, that's the guy that has given me the most confidence so far in this process. So super impressed with Ott yesterday. Unfortunately, it can't make me feel all that much better about the situation, considering he's the low man on the totem pole. He's not Matt Ishbia. He's not Brian Gregory. He's not sitting in the GM chair or the owner chair. If I felt about Matt Ishbia the way I feel today about Jordan Ott, it's a totally different offseason for the Phoenix Suns. Instead, you can get excited, but only to a certain point about what you heard from Jordan Ott yesterday because you're afraid that Matt Ishbia and Brian Gregory are going to screw it up. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, it felt like they were done after the weekend. Instead, it's another series win and a potential series sweep on the horizon for the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll talk about that next. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
Hey listeners, Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Tune in Saturday morning. It's our Father's Day special. Our team will talk about their dads. Plus, we'll feature local coaches, and we launch our new segment spotlighting how our favorite high school administrators are spending their summer vacation. This week, we're joined by Mesa High AD David Klecken. Start your weekend off with a smile with the Varsity Sports Show Saturday morning from 9 to 11 on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona.
Celebrate Independence Day with your hometown professional soccer club. Phoenix Rising takes on Lexington SC on Friday, July 4th at 7:30 p.m. in a special military appreciation match. A night to honor those who serve and turn up the heat on the pitch. Fans will receive limited edition of Phoenix Rising sunglasses at the gate. And don't miss the debut of the club's Americana merchandise line, including a patriotic train top. Plus, enjoy $1 beers all match long, perfect for a summer night under the lights. Tickets start at just $15. Grab yours now at phxrisingfc.com.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. Saturday, October 25th. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pile-Up. Tickets from $30. On sale now at livenation.com. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Part of the American First Credit Union Concert Series.
Hey, it's Austin Clark, owner of Moxie Pest Control. You know, most pest control companies use the same products we do. That's not the difference. But what is the difference is how we treat people. At Moxie, kindness counts, and it shows in every visit, every conversation, and every one of the 6,500 plus 5-star Google reviews our customers have written. Our field experts aren't just trained to handle pests. They're trained to treat your home, your family, your pets, and your time with the kind of respect you deserve. And our services come with a pest-free guarantee. Our methods and service just work better because our people are better. So if you want a pest control company you can trust in and around your home, give us a call. We offer same-day services in most cases, and we'll even give you 50% off your first service when you call. Call 888-MOXIE-10. That's 888-MOXIE-10. Moxie Pest Control, the highest and most reviewed pest control company in Arizona.
Rome here through Rome Report. I'm on record as saying I will never bring back the infamous jungle rat family. Google it if you're curious. Admittedly, it was unfortunate. But if the Panthers keep this up, they may leave me no choice. The defending Stanley Cup champs bludgeoned Edmonton last night, 6-1 to take a 2-1 series lead. And so much for Edmonton's newfound composure and maturity. I mean, how can they say the Panthers didn't get in their heads and under their skin when that's exactly what happened? Because that's who the Panthers are and what they do. They get in your head, under your skin, and get you to take the cheese, and then you get your neck snapped in their rat trap. Memo to Edmonton next time. Don't take the cheese, or as Nick Saban liked to call it, the rat poison.
Rat poison.
Oh, and make sure Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl show up for Game 4, or this series is already over. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me at Jim Rome on the ground.
O'Reilly. Check engine, ABS, or maintenance light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. The service is free and provides a report with solutions verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we could recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, Wednesday edition of the show. Appreciate you joining us. Chris Schubert with you. Don't look now, but after we wrote them off after getting swept by Cincinnati, the Diamondbacks have responded with back-to-back wins over the Seattle Mariners. And an hour from now, we'll be going for the sweep. What will be their, if they completed it, their second sweep in their last 3 series? Sweep the Braves, get swept by the Reds, sweep the Mariners. We've talked about the seesaw nature of the season. That would be the ultimate seesaw. The ultimate high, the lowest of lows, then back high again. We get back to 500 with a win today against the Mariners. The story of the last 2 days for this team, the offense. 10 runs yesterday. What was it? 8 runs the night before that. 18 runs over their last 2 games. We said it yesterday, the offense is going to have to carry things for a little bit. The offense is going to have to buy this front office time. AJ Puck getting healthy. Potentially being in a spot to add at the deadline some arms. The offense has to play well enough and carry the burden until middle of July. And over the last 2 days, they have certainly done that. Corbin Carroll, 2 triples last night. Boy, is it fun to watch him run the bases. Just chaos is the word that's used to describe Corbin Carroll pretty regularly. He's just an energetic player that the rest of the team feeds off of.
Did you see the D-backs social team, what they captioned the triple on Twitter?
I did not.
It was just said, like, did you get your 10,000 steps in today?
That's very good.
It's funny.
That's very good. I mean, he flies around the base.
He was moving.
He can move. 2 triples yesterday. Naylor with a big RBI hit. Gurriel with a home run. I mean, we said this. This offense, talent-wise on paper, they don't have a bunch of guys that are sitting on the IL not contributing. Gabby Moreno hit a home run yesterday. I mean, you're getting contributions from everybody. This offense is talented enough to carry the weight of this season for a little bit. Not the rest of the season. I don't think any offense in baseball can do that for 162. But the rest of this month, especially when the schedule gets soft here with series with the Rockies, the Marlins, the White Sox coming up, can it carry the weight during this stretch? I absolutely think it can do that. We've seen that over the last 2 days. What we also saw yesterday was great defense from the Arizona Diamondbacks. I can remember Perdomo with a great play to get the lead runner. Suarez had a couple of nice plays over at the hot corner. And then obviously the Gurriel home run robbery. This team is built on playing great defense. The Diamondback way that it is commonly referred to as is built on the back of playing excellent defense. We're not going to beat ourselves. We're not going to extend innings, give teams free at-bats, prolong the day for our starter. Yet, a lot of this season has been wrapped up in just some mediocre defense at times. A play that just sticks out like a sore thumb to me is the start against Washington. I think it was Merrill Kelly who was on the mound. And Ketel Marte drops just a routine toss from Perdomo for the last out. He drops it, inning continues, Nats score a couple of runs. Plays like that don't normally happen for this team. They play clean, crisp, fundamental baseball. And it is not a surprise to me that when they get back to playing that clean, crisp, fundamental baseball, at least defensively, we'll get to one area where they're not playing fundamental baseball a little bit later on in the show. But playing clean, fundamental baseball defensively, I'm not surprised that Brendan Pfaadt has a better day on the mound. I'm not surprised that you're able to win games against the Mariners over the last 2 nights. Again, if you do the little things right, the fundamentals, it's going to give you a chance. This team is too talented on paper to not have a chance every single night out.
It's hard not to circle just the third inning last night as a game saver.
Yeah.
You give up the leadoff single.
A lot of leadoff base runners.
A lot of leadoff base runners. Not a recipe for success.
No.
But listen, they got out of it. But no. So, I mean, leadoff single. Then Cal Raleigh hits a ball deep to left. You get the great play by Lourdes to rob a home run. There's your first out of the inning. Then you'll walk Jorge Polanco. Now you're first and second, or 1 out.
Real quick, just unfair to Gurriel to do that like the day after Denzel Clark makes the play that he makes in center field, because it's a great play. It's a home run robbery. It's just
but
not
he
the
didn't
same.
hang on the fence.
He's not scaling the wall and taking it from 4 rows deep the way Denzel Clark did. A little unfair to Lourdes Gurriel.
But then you get the double play and get out of the inning, right? So
yeah,
that type of defense. I mean, you looked it up this morning. I mean, Brandon Pfaadt gave up the 5 hardest hit balls of the game.
Let's talk about that, because the stat line in the box score looks better for Brandon Pfaadt than his last couple of starts. I don't know if we should feel better about the way Brandon Pfaadt is trending right now. Now, I like that he had the start that he did from a confidence perspective, being able to work out of those jams. That's encouraging. But still, 9 hits, base traffic every single inning. And he was giving up hard hit balls all over the place. The 5 hardest hit balls for Seattle in that game last night, all came off of Brandon Pfaadt. And if I'm remembering looking at the StatCast correctly, I think the slowest of them was like 107 miles an hour. He was getting crushed once again. The fortunate thing for Brandon Pfaadt is the defense was there to back him up last night. He was able to get out of jams because Lourdes Gurriel robs a home run, because Eugenio Suarez is able to make some plays over at the hot corner. Perdomo is able to dive to his right, make a stop, and from his seat, make a throw to snag the lead runner. I mean, he got out of jams in every single inning up until the 6th when he gave up the 2 home runs. And unfortunately, the 2 home runs shouldn't have been a surprise because they were hitting the ball hard all night long. So I feel better because he only gave up 2 runs in the 5+ innings that he threw. I don't feel good because some of the same things that led to those last 2 starts, that led to those crooked numbers for Brandon Pfaadt, those things were there again. But you know what? I'll choose to be results-oriented today instead of being process-oriented.
It is hard not to look at the process, though. I mean, he gave up 9 hits. He walked another. So he posted a 2 whip.
Oh, yeah, his whip is like 1.42 for the season. It's just too many base runners.
You allowed a runner to reach second base on every inning he came out there. That's bad enough. He gave up 5 hard hit balls. Yesterday, he posted an average of 288 against him.
And we've discussed, you in particular, you're not a fan of this Mariners offense.
No.
What happens if that's the Dodgers? What happens if that's the Cubs, the Mets? Just pick your favorite offense in baseball this season. They're going to take advantage of those situations. The Mariners didn't. Also, the Diamondbacks played good defense last night. So if you told me you're going to get that defensive effort every single night out, I'd feel better about Brandon taking the ball every 5th day. But I don't feel better today because he only gave up 2 runs. Had all of the same warning signs that we saw in the last 2 starts. Getting hit really hard. Not having a plan for left-handed batters that he can go to consistently. But from a confidence perspective, I like that he had a better final line than he's had his last 2 times out. That's the one encouraging thing that you would take from yesterday. And the Diamondbacks picked up the win. And some of the new relievers that they called up didn't add to a meltdown. No. Could you imagine if we had a meltdown yesterday? What would we have started the show with? The meltdown or Jordan Ott? I'm not sure.
I don't know. But when I turned on the game last night, or when I had like kind of finished my stuff and flipped it on,
sure,
it was 7-2.
You thought about it.
And it was like,
you thought about it.
Here we go.
Yeah, see? That's the worst place to be because you're thinking about it.
You're like, oh, no. And that's a bad place to be.
It's a bad place to be when you don't have any confidence in anybody that comes out of that bullpen right now. And in order for them to earn our confidence back, we're going to need to go a pretty long while without adding something to the meltdown meter. I'm speaking for myself here.
Yeah, what's the days on that?
I mean, we just went a nice stretch without a meltdown. I was getting close to double-digit days, if not at double-digit days.
It wasn't, hey, that meltdown, they won.
They did win, but it was still a meltdown.
Do they have to go a month without a meltdown for you to build confidence, or is it just 2 weeks?
A month feels.
A month is long for anybody.
It's a long time.
To not blow a save in a month is a long time.
I mean, I even think the best closers in the game are going to blow a save over the course of a month. So, can you give me 2 weeks?
I'll give you 2 weeks.
Can I get 14 days without a meltdown? Then I'll start to feel better.
What if the 14 days your schedule is as follows?
Because we're at day 1 today. We've had 1 day since a meltdown.
Yes. So 1 day since okay, if they could get out of the Padres and Blue Jays without a meltdown, I feel pretty good. Because then you got Rockies, White Sox, Marlins.
Yeah, that stretch is where
you can get.
We should. Let me just emphasize it again. We should be meltdown free in that 9-game stretch.
If circle June 29th, if you can go through June 29th without a meltdown,
we're going on a run.
They're going on a run.
All right. That's 18 days from now, though.
It's 18 days, but, I added a few extra days because you get Rockies, White Sox, Marlins. That feels fair.
480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. We've also got you covered on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream, or if you're streaming us on the KDUS AM 1060 app. Today's your last day for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks against the San Diego Padres this Sunday, June 15th at Chase Field. It's Father's Day. Name a better way to spend Father's Day. We'll wait. Spend a day with Dad at Chase Field and get them the Father's Day polo shirt. Only the first 15,000 dads will receive one. We've got your chance to win the 4 tickets. You then got to beat everybody else there to get your hands on the polo shirt. Today's the last day to get registered in order to win for that. How you do that, you're either listening on the app or you're streaming us on KDUS1060.com. But you got to be registered and logged in while you are listening to be entered. When we come back, we've spent a lot this offseason talking about everything wrong with the Arizona Cardinals. But I have a question. Are we selling this team short? It's next. Lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Breaking Benjamin. Stay forever. And 3 Days Grace. Live. October 8th at Desert Diamond Arena with special guest Return to Dust. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Don't miss Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace, presented by the Big Red Radio.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, Mike Barrow from Barrow's Pizza here. The way we see it, family isn't just a cherished thing, it's everything. For us, that starts with our Grandma Angelina's family recipes brought over from Sarconi, Italy. Like our sweet and tangy pizza sauce, 100% real mozzarella, and our fresh dough made every morning. And because every Barrow's is family-owned, never franchised, we personally make sure the quality's there at every location. So stop in and give Barrow's Pizza a try. It's authentic food from our family to yours.
The summertime savings are heating up at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Right now, you can receive a 0% APR for 36 months on a brand new 2025 Mitsubishi Outlander.
That's right, 0%. Or check out a 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage for just $16,000. Come see us at the Scottsdale Auto Show or go to scottsdalemitsubishi.com to check out our current selection of inventory not affected by future tariff changes.
The name to remember, Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Scottsdale Mitsubishi, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
Connect directly, bid confidently. At Purple Wave Auction, transparency is key. With no reserves and no hidden surprises, you're connected directly to sellers so you can inspect and bid on quality equipment with confidence. Whether you're looking for ag, construction, or fleet equipment, we're here to ensure a clear, hassle-free experience. Register today at purplewave.com and start bidding with peace of mind. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
At Shane Company, we know getting engaged is a big decision. But once you know, you know. That's the way our customers feel when they choose a Shane Company engagement ring. They walk into a warm welcome and walk out with their dream ring, knowing they got it right. For almost 100 years, we've been offering personalized shopping experiences. And we're in it way past the honeymoon, with a free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, cleanings, repairs, and resizing for life. Shop with us at shaneco.com or at your neighborhood store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Now through July 15th at Whole Foods Market. Fire up grill season with hot savings on juicy summer fruit. The season's best veg and sizzle-ready proteins, like 25% off shrimp with Prime.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Buy or sell coming up in about 10 minutes or so here on the program. Mandatory minicamp underway for the Arizona Cardinals. Seeing a lot of quotes from Jonathan Gannon as we just move closer and closer to the start of football season. And a question that I've been kicking around in my own head, and I asked it in the morning meeting today, because I continue to see stories. I've seen a couple of them. I'll just share 3 of them that I saw today that pushed me into this direction. CBS Sports, they're the source for a couple of these. They did a story of the most underrated NFL players at each position. And there were 2 Cardinals on the list. James Conner at running back, Calais Campbell along the defensive line. There was a story with the best and worst case scenarios for every NFL team. And the worst case scenario for the Arizona Cardinals is that Kyler Murray would struggle, but the team would just finish below 500. But not one of the worst teams in the NFL, just fall short of their expectations. Then I saw a story about Trey Hendrickson and all the landing spots for him, and the Cardinals were on that list, and PFF and all the great grades that they gave the Cardinals group throughout the offseason. Each position ranked super high. The individual players ranked super high. They did their reason for optimism for all 32 teams. The revamped defensive line was what they selected for the Cardinals. So no matter where you turn, there is optimism about this team. And so that led me to this question. Are we, perhaps because we're too close to it, are we selling this team short? And what I mean by that is, are we not as excited for this season as we should be? Are we not putting the right level of expectation on this team for 2025? I don't think there's anybody out there that thinks the Cardinals are going to dethrone the Philadelphia Eagles, are going to be the talk of the NFC all season. But I do think there are expectations around this team being a playoff contender. And you know what? I'm willing to say it. This team is a playoff contender. This team is directly in the middle of the NFC wildcard race. I will go as far as saying this team is in the mix to win the NFC West. And we shouldn't run from that. We should embrace that. We should be excited that the team is good enough on paper, talented enough on paper to have those expectations attached to them. We shouldn't look for reasons for them to not be a playoff contender. We shouldn't look for reasons for why they are going to fail and miss those expectations. We should embrace what this team is. We should tip our cap to the organization over the last couple of years for overhauling this roster and this offseason, putting a huge, massive emphasis on rebuilding a defensive line that needed major surgery. And they did it. They didn't go through the motions. They didn't make just a couple of small tweaks. No. Biggest contract we've seen Monty given out. Veterans in Dalvin Tomlinson and Calais Campbell. Draft picks, first round pick, another investment in the defensive line after using one of your first round picks a year ago to invest in the defensive line. This is a front office and an organization that is telling you, we believe in this squad. I think it's now up to us to also believe in this squad, to be critical when they lose games that they're not supposed to, critical if they miss those expectations. But I'm tired of having these conversations and then saying what has become a famous phrase here on the show, all roads lead back to Kyler Murray. I hate doing that. I hate that that's what the Cardinals' entire organization boils down to right now. And so you know what? Today we're putting a stop to it because it's not all about Kyler Murray. This team has made improvements everywhere else on this roster. This team is a more talented team than they were a year ago. Yeah, is a lot of their success going to be dependent on the way the quarterback plays? It's not like he's had a bunch of 2,000-yard seasons in his career, and we're asking him to be something he's never been before. Last year, he threw for 3,800 yards. He's been a solid to good to sometimes above average quarterback in his career. So you know what? Embrace it. I know there are people out there that will not buy in, that will not accept Kyler as the franchise quarterback until he does it in the postseason. I get it. I'm not asking you to change your tune about Kyler. What I'm asking you to do is to embrace the expectations that are on this team. Have fun. Have fun knowing that you're not, let's pick a team, that you're not the Carolina Panthers, that you're not the Cleveland Browns, that you're not, Jacksonville's a little different. I think they just had a down year last year. You're not the Raiders. Boy, do I not buy the Raiders this year. You're not the Jets. Relish that you're not one of those teams. The Saints. You're not in quarterback purgatory with those teams, not knowing what direction you're going to go in. You have a roster that is ready to compete for the playoffs. You don't think they're going to make it because of Kyler? Fine. But embrace what this team is. This team is a playoff and division contender.
I don't understand the negativity and surrounding this team because we just saw it with the team that won the Super Bowl. What did they do better than anybody, Chris? They ran the football and they played great defense.
Yep.
You have an improved defense and a team that can run the football. As far as I'm concerned, I've watched football my whole life. You play good defense, you run the football, you're a playoff football team.
And again, I'm not saying the Cardinals have no problems. I'm not saying the Cardinals are a perfect team. I'm not saying book the tickets now for the Cardinals to go to the Super Bowl. What I am saying is embrace what this team is. Embrace the work that has been done over the last couple of years to revamp this roster. When you're frustrated about this Cardinals team throughout the summertime before the season begins, remind yourself where this roster was a couple of years ago. Remind yourself where this team was when they fired Cliff and they fired Steve Keim and had to bring in a new GM and a new head coach. And then think about where they are today and embrace that. Embrace that this team, yes, this team should make the playoffs in 2025. And you know what? If you want this franchise to be one of the upper echelon franchises in the NFL, then you have to embrace expectations like this. And not just immediately go, they're not going to do it because Kyler Murray's not a franchise quarterback and it's not worth it and just it's going to be a waste of a year and it doesn't matter what they do everywhere else because the quarterback stinks. Embrace this organization for what they have done. And by organization, not talking about the guy up at the top. So the guy up at the top's got his fair share of problems. I'm talking about the GM who's overhauled this roster. I'm talking about the coach who's getting the most out of this roster and has put this team in a position to where, yes, we are now talking about a team where the expectations are you need to make the playoffs. That's where great organizations live. That's where the Steelers live every year. That's where the Chiefs live every year. The Bills. That's where the Bengals live now because they have a quarterback. You have a great franchise. The expectation is you find a way to make the playoffs. Steelers haven't had a franchise quarterback. They found a way. Why? Because their expectations of that fan base demand that they are a playoff team.
Would you be more shocked if this team wins 6 football games or if this team makes the playoffs?
I would be more shocked if this team wins 6 football games.
There's your answer. There's your answer to sit back in your chair and say, okay, we have an exciting football team. And I'm not saying, like we said, I'm not saying they're going to play in the NFC Championship. I'm not saying book it. I'm not saying they're the Eagles. I'm not saying they're the Lions or the Vikings or whoever else you want to put in that conversation. But I think they can compete with the Rams for this division.
I think there are fans out there that don't want to embrace the expectations around this team because they do not want to be disappointed. Guess what? You want to be great? Sometimes you're going to be disappointed. Now, last year, expecting them to make the playoffs probably set you up for disappointment. They weren't ready then. This year, they're ready. The roster's ready. They're going to sink or swim. And yeah, if you're disappointed, if they don't make the playoffs, you should be. That is going to be what sets this franchise on the right course to demand better. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. Also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, wrapping up hour number 1 here of the show. Little buy or sell. Producer Evan has the takes. I'm either buying or selling what he's got. We'll do it next. Lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
Pierce the Veil. I Can't Hear You World Tour 2025. Pierce the Veil, live in concert in Phoenix. With Sleeping with Sirens and Beach Weather. Live at Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, June 15th. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
If you're trying to get through your daily activities and you're noticing you can't because you're focusing more on your pain than being able to enjoy the moment, those are the patients that we're looking to treat because we can make a difference.
That's Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics.
What we're doing at QC Kinetics is offering treatments that help with joint preservation. We use cutting-edge technology in our in-house lab to harness your body's natural healing powers and target the areas where you need them the most.
These are regenerative, non-surgical treatments, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader, delivering lasting relief to tens of thousands of patients.
What we do know is that the sooner we start treatment, the sooner you'll see relief.
So don't wait another minute. See if you're a good candidate for these non-surgical treatments for joint pain. The consultation is completely free.
Call QC Kinetics, 602-691-6641. That's 602-691-6641. 602-691-6641.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Am I buying or selling what producer Evan is saying? That's how we close up hour number one of the program. 6 or so topics. Takes
5 today.
That I am either buying or selling. We should really keep a better track of, in a given week, am I doing more buying or selling?
What we should do is we should give you an amount of money. Each take costs X dollars.
That may be a lot to keep track of. We may need to hire a whole another person just to keep track of that segment.
We'll just start keep track.
There's math involved. And listen,
I'm a huge nerd.
I can't do that math while we're on the air. I just can't. There's too much going on. I got buttons to press like this.
Schmammer.
I mean, there's just too many moving parts. All right, what do you got?
We will start with the Suns. Jordan Ott's press conference instilled more confidence in the fan base.
More confidence in the fan base. It instilled more confidence in me, but I don't know if others felt the same way that I did about it. I still think there are others that, no matter what Jordan Ott said or did yesterday, are still concerned about Matt Ishbia, still concerned about an inexperienced GM, as they should be. Those are fair concerns. And so we said it going in. I'm not sure what he could say that was going to change people's minds. And again, we were kind of on board maybe too strong. We didn't hate the hire. We said this is not hiring Brian Gregory. This is different. So we kind of went into it with a glass half full mindset anyway. I'll sell this. I think people are really down on Ishbia's involvement and what's Kevin Durant trade, what that's going to look like. Sell.
Yeah, I agree. And that's a shame because I think he did a nice job yesterday. And like I said, it's a tough situation him and Gregory have been put in. And we'll see how it goes. It'll take the Cardinals starting the season 6-1 or 5-2 for the national media to actually start believing this team can make the playoffs.
When you go super specific like this, my default is to sell. But I think I'll buy this one. Because the national media kind of sets up these narratives whether or not they know that they're doing this. Not picking them to win the division or not picking them to make the playoffs or their win total being down in Vegas. And then if they get off to a hot start, it's like, whoa, where did this team come from? Yeah, we've been talking to you about this team all summer. We've been talking to you about this revamped defense. Marvin Harrison Jr. year 2 jump. Trey McBride, one of the best tight ends in the game. A great coaching staff. A defense that is just going to be all over the place. You're supposed to be better prepared. Right. Do the work. Do the work. Know about the team. So I think if they go 6-1 or 5-2, that's going to generate some buzz. At that record, if they're not in first place, they're right there in the division. So yeah, I think that's when there'll be a catch-up to the rest of what we've been talking about, that this team's pretty good.
The D-backs' seesaw nature of the season will continue for most of the rest of it. Win, lose, get swept, sweep someone, that will tend to continue.
Yeah, it will until they solve their bullpen issues. Now, it may take all season to solve the bullpen issues because the injuries just continue to pile up for this team. For a large chunk of this year, they haven't had a reliable go-to closer for more than like 2 weeks at a time. And so because of that, you give away leads. Your defense isn't very good. Yeah, you're going to lose games. So if they shore up the defense, certainly saw it yesterday. If they find a way to, I don't even know if they need to get fully healthy. You just need to settle guys into roles. Hey, Shelby, you're the closer. You're going to stay the closer. Like, get to that place.
But how are you going to settle a guy into a role if he blows 3 saves?
And there you see why I bought the take that this is going to be a seesaw season, because I don't know if there's enough momentum to keep it on one side of the seesaw. Hopefully the good side. I will buy this.
I will buy it, except the 9-game stretch where you play the Rockies, the Marlins, and the White Sox.
If you seesaw during that 9-game stretch, we went busto. I mean, it's just over at that point.
Yeah. The National League's last wild card spot will come down to within 2 games or so at the end of the year.
Where does it sit right now?
Currently, and I think it's interesting to look at, we have 5 teams right within, really it's more. So I'll give it to you. You have the Padres, who are 2 games up on the Phillies.
Okay.
Or sorry, game and a half.
Okay.
And then you have, the Giants are a game and a half up.
Okay.
On the Phillies.
Okay.
At the top wildcard spot. Padres are a half a game above the Phillies. So you have the Phillies at the last spot.
So Giants 1, Padres 2, Phillies 3 for the final 3 wildcard spots.
And then you have Cardinals just 2 games behind.
Man, they're impressive.
They are so impressive.
Did not expect them to be this good and be in this mix, but they're getting some good starting pitching. They've got some young players that are contributing. They got a nice squad.
That NL Central race is going to be really interesting because you have the Cardinals just 2 games. You have the Brewers just a half a game behind them, who had a real tough start to the year.
Well, and that's a team that you just know won't go away.
Will never go away. The Reds are just a game behind them. Man, and the D-backs are about a game and a half behind that.
For the second straight year, I picked the Reds to win the division. I bought into the new manager with Francona.
It's hard not to buy into that.
I bought into the young pitching staff that they have, just a bunch of great young starters. It just hasn't all come together. Bullpen's been a bit of a mess.
The offense is bad, too. I mean, they lost 3 straight games, so they didn't score a run early in the year.
Yeah, you can't win if you don't score.
They were the first team in like 100 years to be shut out and lose 1-0 in 3 consecutive games.
It was bad.
It's bad. Staying in baseball.
Well, I didn't buy or sell the take.
Oh, yeah.
Because I don't remember what the take was.
The National League.
We were doing a standings breakdown. I forgot what the take was.
The last wild card spot in the National League will come down to within 2 games.
Sure. Bye.
I think that's a good buy.
All right, real quick, one more.
I think that's going to be an interesting one. This one, Out of left field, very random. Jacob Wilson is the most impressive MLB rookie in recent memory.
Have
you seen this? Do you want me to read you his numbers?
Ohtani as a rookie was pretty good. I know Wilson's doing a great job. I'm just going to sell. I'll just take the field. You know me. I like to just take the field when I don't know. It's my default. Field. Sell. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. Hour number 2 right around the corner. More on the Kevin Durant trade when we come back. It's the lunch break. KDUS AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix. Arizona children enter the foster system every day. If you're a parent, a coach, a teacher, or just someone who cares about young people, then you may be in a position to help. Become a foster parent not only creates a positive ripple effect in a child's life, it can improve our entire community. That's the foster effect. To learn more, go to azdcs.gov/foster effect. That's azdcs.gov/foster effect. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Department of Child Safety.
The legacy continues. Pantera. The heaviest tour of the summer. What did you say? Tearing up Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, August 26th. With Amon Amarth. On sale now at LiveNation.com. Part of the America First Credit Union Concert Series.
A noisy garage door is a cry for help. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner at A1 Garage Door Service. Most repairs are simple, but if left untreated, they can turn into costly repairs. Your garage door works hard every day, and a little maintenance goes a long way. We fix garage doors fast with quality parts designed to last a lifetime. From repairs to upgrades, it's A1 from day one. Call A1 Garage Door Service, and you'll be smiling today.
A1Garage.com, A1 from day one.
Hey D-backs fan, did you know milk is one of the most requested but least donated items at food banks? Together we can change that. On June 14th, D-backs pitcher Merrill Kelly will be at the Fry's on 20th Street in Highland from 10:30 to 11:30 a.m. for the 1,000-gallon challenge milk donation drive. Stop by, donate a gallon, meet Merrill Kelly, and make a difference. Join Arizona milk producers, Fry's, and the D-backs to help fill fridges and fuel families. Learn more at arizonamilk.org.
The Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event is going on now at Mark Kia in Scottsdale.
Right now, you can receive up to $500 bonus cash on some of our most popular models.
The name to remember, Mark Kia. Mark Kia. Go to markkia.com for full details.
Summer Playfest has arrived at Harris Auction Casino. This summer, win your share of $600,000 in prizes with Caesars Rewards. Plus, join us as live bands light up the stage all season long. Then stay and play for less with our buy one, get one half-off hotel rates. So stay, play, and get rewarded all summer during Summer Playfest. Only at Harris Auction Casino. Play for all. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 or 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Visit the Caesars Rewards Center for details.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
12 o'clock hour of the lunch break. Appreciate you joining us on the Wednesday edition of the show. Chris Schubert with you. One more hour for us here. And now that the coach has officially been introduced, it feels like all of our focus and attention is going to be on the Kevin Durant trade. And we learned something. I don't know if we actually learned something, but there was a report this morning from Shams Charania over at ESPN that sort of put it more into focus, the teams that are involved in the Kevin Durant sweepstakes, because he reported that Rich Kleiman and the Suns have met in the last couple of weeks, in the past couple of days, to work together on a potential trade, and listed a bunch of different teams as having been interested: the Houston Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs, Minnesota Timberwolves, Miami Heat, New York Knicks, all of the teams that we have discussed at length here on the show. Also made sure to include everybody's favorite. Maybe we need a sounder for this. Mystery team. Teams that, wild card teams is how Shams reported it as, that have called within the last 7 or 10 days to inquire about Kevin Durant's situation.
You gotta love a mystery team.
Oh, there's nothing better in free agency in baseball when you know it's down to a couple of teams, and then you get that report from like John Heyman or Ken Rosenthal, and it's like, there's a mystery team involved. You're like, oh, here we go. Need the mystery team.
It's the best.
Oh, it's the best. Because why is it a mystery team? Is it because the reporters don't know, or is it because the reporters aren't sharing it with us? Like, what makes a team a mystery team? How do they become a mystery team? How are they not one of the teams that we're already talking about?
That just means that, we've talked with, X team, but we had another person pick up the phone. We don't want to tell you who, though.
Yeah, we don't want to tell you who. But
you have to imagine that's what it is. It's coming from the front office or the sources.
But yeah, there's another team always lurking. Mystery team. The Diamondbacks were the mystery team. Jumped in out of nowhere for Corbin Burns. So we are all too familiar with mystery teams here in this town. So there's some mystery teams that are inquiring about KD, and it led me to determine, what are the Suns trying to do here? What are they trying to get out of a Kevin Durant trade? Is it young players? Is it draft picks? Is it a combination of the two? I don't know. I don't know what I want the Suns to focus on in a Kevin Durant trade. I have always said some combination of the two would be ideal. Couple draft picks, couple young players. That felt like something the Suns could accomplish. But what should their priority be? If you get the young players, maybe you're getting some young players who are established. Maybe you're getting some young players with some untapped potential, but you're getting NBA regulars, whether rotational pieces, starters, rotational pieces that should get more minutes and become starters. You're getting established NBA players. Whereas with the draft picks, you're just getting lottery tickets. And do the Suns want lottery tickets, or do the Suns want players that they know a lot about? Depends on your philosophy. Depends. Do the Suns feel like they're in a rush to try to win right now? Listening to Jordan Ott yesterday, didn't seem like he was in a big rush to win right away. Sounded very much like a guy who understood that this was going to take time for them to get to the right place. So if we just listened to Jordan Ott yesterday, I think we would say this team wouldn't be against a draft pick heavy return to get those lottery tickets, to be able to take swings, to be able to pride themselves on player development, bring a young player in, get them into their system, mold them, and turn them into the next Tyrese Halliburton, into the next Devin Booker. There's some value in that. But I'm always worried about Matt Ishbia and all of these things. Because Matt Ishbia, from the moment he got here, it was go, go, go. Pedal to the metal. Acquired all the stars, have to win right now. Coaches with championship pedigree, going to change coaches, all in the pursuit of winning. How patient is he willing to be? If he's not going to be that patient, then you lean more towards getting established players. Now, I'm not talking 5, 10-year veterans, but young players who've maybe been in the league for a couple of years that can be starters, can be impact starters. So if you're less patient, if you want to try to turn this around in an offseason or two, then you're leaning more towards actual NBA players. If you're leaning more towards the future and believing in developing the right culture, if you're believing in setting up the right player development structure and starting to focus on building players from within instead of always looking for the external way out, a big trade, a free agent signing. Best teams build from within. That's how you have staying power in the NBA. And even then, you don't have a ton of staying power. Ask the Boston Celtics. But building from within gives you the best chance to build something sustainable. So what side of the coin do the Suns err on? I've tried to kind of walk the tightrope and say if you can find a blend of both, it gives you a better chance here. But it all comes down to the guy who's going to be in charge of all of this. The guy who's going to be spearheading a Kevin Durant trade. That being Matt Ishbia.
I think this is going to be an interesting test because you know what this is going to tell me?
the alignment.
How aligned they are.
Well,
because to me, yesterday's press conference said, let's go get picks. Let's develop players. Let's take our time. If they go out there looking for impact players right now and look to speed up this process, to me, that means
the alignment.
They aren't very aligned.
Can I pivot real quick?
Yeah.
Because an hour ago, a story dropped over at ESPN. It's titled Kevin Durant Trade Proposals, 5 Deals for the Suns Star. You have not seen this story. I'll let you be the GM. I'll let you be Brian Gregory. I'll let you be in charge of
the alignment.
Okay? 5 teams offering for Kevin Durant. Your natural raw reaction to all of these trades. Houston offering Dylan Brooks, Reed Shepard, Cam Whitmore, Jock Landale, 2025 and 2027 first-round picks. And the 2025 first is conveyed after the draft lottery. So the draft lottery took place, so that would be the 10th overall pick. Would you do that?
Yeah, I like that deal. I get 2 firsts, the 10th pick this year. I feel like I still get young players. I know I get Brooks, but I still feel like I get a boatload of young players. You said Shepard's in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a guy who, was picked high last year, is young, hasn't given them much, but yeah, I think I would take that.
So this story that I'm looking at, I remember reading something similar. That's why this trade offer stood out to me. There was a story where they had a couple of trade offers a couple months ago that we broke down here on the show, and and I saw the Knicks one. That's what made me remind me of this. It was Kevin Durant for OG and Mitchell Robinson. But they've added 2 new teams to this list. So how about this one from Minnesota? Kevin Durant for Rudy Gobert, Dante DiVincenzo, and Rob Dillingham. Now, I'd love to get Dante DiVincenzo.
Oh,
I'd love to also get Naz Reid. But so if you want to remove Rudy Gobert, you want to put Naz Reid in there, I think I'd be a little more interested. Dante would be great for the
alignment.
He'd be great. Excellent.
I think he would work well here.
He would. San Antonio, Kevin Durant for Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and a 2025 first-round pick via Atlanta.
Okay.
Did you do that one?
So far, I'm more interested in the Timberwolves.
Yeah, and for those who are regular P1s of the program, you'll know that we discussed that Rockets one. The Miami one that I'm going to share with you is not all too unfamiliar because it's Durant and the Suns get Wiggins, 2 first-round picks in 2025 and 2023 and 2030, Nikola Jovic, Wiggins in the 2 first and a second-round pick.
That's the one I'm least interested in.
I'm least interested in the Knicks one of OG and Mitchell Robinson. And then the Dallas one, and I remember talking about this because I did not understand this at all. It was KD for Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Najee Marshall, Derek Lively the second, and a 2028 first-round pick. And I did not want anything to do with Klay Thompson.
Yes, I take back what I said. That is by far what I'm least interested in.
So we talked about a couple of these. Maybe it was last month or maybe a month and a half ago because I remember the Houston trade in particular. But the new ones on this list were Minnesota, Kevin Durant for Rudy Gobert, Dante DiVincenzo, and Rob Dillingham. And then the San Antonio one, Vassell, Barnes, and a 2025 first-round pick.
And I don't hate that deal.
No,
either.
The Spurs one really stands out to me. Vassell would be, I think, a nice 24-year-old.
Is it Vassell or is it Vassell?
Have you always pronounced it Vassell?
I've always said Vassell.
So maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I just look at it and that looks like Vassell to me, but maybe it's Vassell. Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and a 2025 first-round pick for Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be against that.
No.
The Minnesota one, I would like Naz Reid.
That's a guy we've talked about too, quite a bit.
Yeah, we talked about free agent centers the other day, and his name came up in a morning meeting conversation. Well, the Knicks we know are interested. We know the Timberwolves are interested. I mean, these are all the teams that we know are interested. Maybe sans Dallas. We know Houston's interested. We know San Antonio's interested. I mean, these are the 5 teams that Shams listed this morning as the teams that are in the mix now. Not just that they were in the mix at the trade deadline, that they're in the mix now. Rockets, Spurs, Heat, Knicks, and Timberwolves, and then there are wild card teams. And so they put together these packages. Now, they stole some of these packages from previous story about hypothetical trade offers for KD, but they added the 2 new ones from San Antonio and from Minnesota. And those are the 2 that stood out to me.
I was going to say, I think those are the 2 most interesting. Give me San Antonio's package.
Now, you gave me Mikal Bridges.
If I had to order, they're not.
You gave me Mikal Bridges.
You're not getting Bridges back.
The Knicks are on the top of the list.
But in all seriousness, I think give me San Antonio, Minnesota, Houston in that order of what packages I like the most there.
Did that Houston deal felt like a lot?
Felt like a lot.
That's a lot. Do we think KD is going to go for that much? Now, again, look at this through the prism of young players or picks.
My initial thought was I just don't think they can get that.
And this one has the 2025 first going to Phoenix. I would
love the 10th pick.
I don't think the Rockets are giving up the 10th pick. They're not giving up the 10th pick, another first, and those 3 young players. And Dylan Brooks.
I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening either.
So it's hard not to throw that out, but I will tell you, if they get that, you're jumping over the moon.
Oh, if Dylan Brooks is a good culture guy. You like to have him on your team rather than playing against him.
Yeah.
Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore are 2 young players to build out your rotation. You would get the 10th overall pick to go along with the 29th overall pick. You would then have a 2027 first. That's yours. You'd get your own first-round pick back. I mean, you want to talk about Brian Gregory. But see, this is the fun part. If it's a bad trade, everybody is going to criticize Ishbia. If it's a good trade, everybody's going to run to give Brian Gregory praise. It's not going to be a good trade. They're going to be like, wow, what a great job by Matt.
Do you know
Ishbia.
why?
Well, the way
because
fans
they've
are.
hired an inexperienced general manager. So if they make a good trade, people are going to be like, wow, he did it.
He did it.
And if he doesn't, they're like, well, why'd they hire him?
Right. No,
go get Ishbia.
They'll find an excuse.
Yeah.
They'll find an excuse, and the excuse is to go after the owner who said he's going to be more involved, and all the reporting is that he's going to be at the center and is at the center of these Kevin Durant sweepstakes. But yeah, I remember doing this story about a month or so ago, and Houston's trade package, and that Knicks trade package was the same, and the Miami 3-team trade with Brooklyn. I remember all that. The Minnesota and San Antonio packages are new, and I like both of them. I would like the T-Wolves one different if it didn't have Gobert and all that money attached to it, but I understand why they need to do that. But man, I would try to get as many draft picks as you can to let Jordan Ott develop young players. And if I'm going to get young players, let me lean towards guys that are younger, that still have that untapped potential. Don't give me guys that are, 24, 25, 26 and have just been sitting on a bench for the last couple of years and haven't been able to crack a rotation. I don't know if I really want to. Give me somebody who hasn't been able to crack a rotation because the team in front of him is so good and he just needs to go to a new change of scenery and get an opportunity. That's what I'm looking for. Couple of those players, couple of draft picks. You can do a good job here.
If that Houston deal is real, it's hard not to.
It's not. There's no way that Houston's given up that much for KD. And if they were, I would do the trade immediately. If that package is on the table right now, no team's beating that, I would call the league office immediately.
Don't let them change their mind.
Right. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the show. We've also got you on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, it's happened 14 times so far this season. Is it a problem? That's next on Lunch Break, KDUS AM 1060.
Hey listeners, Vince DeLisio from the Varsity Sports Show. Tune in Saturday morning. It's our Father's Day special. Our team will talk about their dads. Plus, we'll feature local coaches, and we launch our new segment spotlighting how our favorite high school administrators are spending their summer vacation. This week, we're joined by Mesa High AD David Klecken. Start your weekend off with a smile with the Varsity Sports Show Saturday morning from 9 to 11 on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona. T&Cs apply.
Ascend. Bring me the horizon. USA Ascension Program Part 1.
Every sky will build my friend.
Taking over Footprint Center. October 2nd. With special guest Motionless in White, The Plot in You, and Amira El Fiki. On sale now at livenation.com. Bring me the horizon. Presented by the Big Red Radio.
When my wife and I got married after both graduating law school, we didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. Ultima had to give me her gas card just to drive home. We never could have imagined that one day we would have the largest injury firm in the world and $25 billion in money collected and counting. As good Catholics, we had 4 children fast. They all work in the firm today. Our family protecting yours. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. But our greatest gift was years away, grandchildren. Today we have 6 and counting. It's the greatest joy that we have ever experienced. I think about them all day long. Our family promises to protect your family should you need us. Call us. It's easy. Visit forthepeople.com and make sure you hug your grandchildren. God's final gift to us. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. The Knicks didn't just part ways with the coach. They bet against stability. Moving on from Tom Thibodeau after a trip to the Eastern Conference Finals raised plenty of eyebrows, and rightfully so. Tibbs had flaws, but he also gave the Knicks structure, identity, and a winning culture. You don't make a decision like that without a clear upgrade in mind, or at least you shouldn't. But that's not what this feels like. Rumors have linked New York to Jason Kidd, while the team's reported attempts to speak to Ime Udoka and Chris Finch were quickly denied. That's not a coaching plan. That's a coaching wish list. There's a fine line between bold and reckless, and right now the Knicks are leaning towards the latter. You don't move off a proven coach without a sure-footed succession strategy. This feels more like organizational restlessness than vision. If there's a master plan in Madison Square Garden, they're keeping it quiet and hidden. And in the NBA, guessing games usually don't end well. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. Not everyone who handles your personal information is going to be as careful as you are. It takes just one mistake, and then all of a sudden you're exposed to hackers and identity thieves. That's why there's a new victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. But fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock is going to monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. If your identity is stolen, a LifeLock US-based restoration specialist will help solve it, guaranteed, or your money back. Plus, LifeLock plans are all backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, meaning LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan if you lose money due to identity theft. You can't control how diligent other people are with your information, but with LifeLock, you can help protect it. Right now, save up to 40% off your first year. Promo code Patrick at LifeLock.com. So save up to 40% with the promo code Patrick at LifeLock.com. Terms apply. LifeLock, for the threats you can't control.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back here on the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060. 14 times it has happened this season so far for the Arizona Diamondbacks. 14 times they have made an out at home plate. Been thrown out at home 14 times this season. That is second most in Major League Baseball, trailing only the Tampa Bay Rays, who have had it happen 17 times. Was an issue yesterday early in the game with Perdomo getting thrown out at home plate, and it has become a talking point. It has become a topic of conversation. And it becomes a topic of conversation, in my mind, for one specific reason. You have a team right now that's going through it. You have a team right now that is fighting to keep their season alive. Injuries all over the place with their pitching staff. They know they have to score a bunch in order to win these games. They scored 18 runs over their last 2 games. They understand the pressure that they are under to score. They have to pick up the slack for a rotation, for a bullpen that is shown that they are incapable right now of holding on to leads, of keeping the opposing team off the board. You got to win games 9-8, 10-9. That's just the way things are trending for the Diamondbacks right now. So they know that. And so they know they might have to get a little aggressive on the base pass. The problem now is they're getting a little too aggressive because we know that they need to score runs, but they can't run themselves out of innings. They can't run themselves out of run scoring opportunities. With the premium that we are placing on the offense right now, when they have guys in those situations of being able to score, you can't miss those opportunities. You can't miss those chances. And the last couple of nights, it's happened where Larkin at third base has been sending runners, and they have not been good sends. Guys have been getting thrown out at home plate. Great throws from the outfield, got Perdomo yesterday. Just has been a recurring theme. And the worry that I have is that now it's become a talking point. It's become a storyline. You've got the second most outs at home out of anybody in baseball this season with 14. Is there now going to be a movement to the other end of the spectrum? Is there going to be a movement towards being too passive? We might argue it's a little too aggressive right now. When that happens, the tendency is to go all the way in the other direction. To throw up that stop sign all the time. You can't have that either. You can't now not get those run scoring opportunities because you're too pessimistic, because you're too passive. It's the same thing. Whether you make the out at home or you don't send the runner in a spot that you should, you're missing on run scoring opportunities. You have to find the right balance. And the other thing is don't overthink it if you're this coaching staff, because by overthinking it, you're going to make the wrong decision. Send, stop sign, you're going to make the wrong decision because you're thinking about it. You just have to get back to the basics of feeling the game, reacting to the situation. If you read it and it's a send, send them. If you read it and it's a stop sign, it's a stop sign. Don't second guess yourself. Commit to whatever you want to commit to, and it is full send. Meaning, if I'm throwing on the stop sign, I'm throwing on the stop sign. Because when you get caught in between, you're not sure, that's when you're going to either run into outs at home or you're not going to send a guy in a spot where it would have made it by a couple of feet.
It's a field position.
Oh, yeah.
At third base, coach. And it's one that gets kind of overlooked a lot of the time. But for the Diamondbacks right now, it feels more important than ever. Because if you can't rely on your bullpen and you don't know what you're going to get out of the pitching staff, runs are important. And for this offense, you can't be running yourself out of innings. And this is something that I circled last week and said, listen, it feels like this team runs themselves out of more innings than anybody.
Yeah, they do it trying to steal second base. Tim Tawa did it. Well, when exactly was that? He did that last week, maybe the week before, where he got thrown out. It was a day game. I think it was a game that we were watching in my office where he got thrown out at second base. And we're like, what are you doing, dude?
It was the morning game in Atlanta.
We got thrown out at second base?
Yeah, the one they scored 7. But it's just, gosh, they do these things that it's just bad baseball on the base path a lot of the time. I feel like they steal at bad spots. And then, the sends and have just been bad. And it's not like these are close plays. Like, man, they're just getting the short end of the stick at home. No, they're out.
Yeah, no, that's not even close.
Yeah.
Not even close. And again, we know the offense is going to be so important right now. So every one of those chances where we've got a runner at third and we're trying to score them matters just a little bit more. And so you have to make the right decision. But not only do you have to make the right decision, you have to be confident. You can't be second guessing yourself. You can't be in between. That's when this problem is going to go from bad to worse. Because for every one of these outs at home, I don't now want to see the stop sign getting thrown up and the run would have scored by 5 feet. That's almost just as bad.
It is just as bad, especially with 2 outs.
With 2 outs, I'm okay with you being a little more aggressive.
Me too.
Two outs, I think you take some liberties to try to get a run across. One out, maybe we err on the side of sac fly gets a run in. Productive ground out gets the run in. We don't have to force it here. But yeah, it's a feel. It's a reaction to what's in front of you. Because as the coach, you have the whole field in front of you. You're reading it, but it's happened 14 times so far this season. Can't give away runs like that when we know how important runs are going to be to this baseball team right now.
Would love to go through and see how many of those have been, running through a sign or, a send. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and again, is it the be-all, end-all? Is it the major problem that the Diamondbacks have right now? No, but when we have mentioned how important it is for this offense to score runs and how they're going to need to carry the weight because the pitching you just don't have the arms right now out in the pen. And so no lead is going to be safe. Every time we can score and tack on that extra run and go up by 6 instead of 5 or extend the lead to 7 instead of 6, anytime you can just tack on an extra run is important. And so I think that's kind of the mentality here is they know that runs are important. They know that they got to try to run up the score, and so they're being more aggressive. But there is a right way to go about this. There is a selective aggressiveness that this coaching staff and this team can find because the fundamentals are so important. You got to be able to run the bases. You can't run yourself out of innings. You got to play good quality defense. That's the way you make up for a pitching staff right now that's going through it. You play good fundamentals everywhere else. You play good fundamentals defensively. Diamondbacks did that in spades last night for Brendan Pfaadt. But you also need to have the fundamentals when you are on the base path. And as John points out, Perdomo ran through the stop sign at third the other night, but was safe. And so now, I don't think that's what's happening, but does Perdomo not trust the sign now? Now you have a whole new set of problems on your hands if you have guys that are just ignoring the signs because they don't trust what they're seeing now. Now you have a disconnect between the players and the coaching staff. You can't have that either. That's where this is a small problem, and it becomes an even bigger problem. Fundamentals, the little things, base running, defense. Clean those things up, and you can survive going through it with your pitching staff right now.
We know this offense and what they're capable of.
Yeah.
We know this team has speed. You just didn't foresee this problem at the beginning of the year.
No, because what do the Diamondbacks do better than almost any team in baseball? They play clean, fundamental baseball. They play a clean, fundamental game.
And to this point, they haven't.
They haven't. That's why they're 33-34. One of the reasons why they're 33-34, going into a game that's going to start in 8 minutes from now, trying to go for the sweep against the Seattle Mariners. 480-864-1060, the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. Also got you over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. When we come back, did you know that it's 14 days until the NBA draft? 2 weeks from tonight? First round of the NBA draft? We'll talk about it next. Lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
James Out West, your home for sports down here in the desert. Join James and Pat the Stat Guy as they recap the weekend and dive deep into the numbers for the NFL, NBA, college sports, and more.
That's 5 seasons of 1,200 yards.
Player stats, team numbers, and contracts are just the start of the discussion for James and Pat.
He started 815 career games. He threw 749 complete games.
There's no hiding when it comes to stats. It's James Out West every Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Celebrate Independence Day with your hometown professional soccer club. Phoenix Rising takes on Lexington SC on Friday, July 4th at 7:30 p.m. in a special military appreciation match. A night to honor those who serve and turn up the heat on the pitch. Fans will receive limited edition of Phoenix Rising sunglasses at the gate. And don't miss the debut of the club's Americana merchandise line, including a patriotic train top. Plus, enjoy $1 beers all match long, perfect for a summer night under the lights. Tickets start at just $15. Grab yours now at phxrisingfc.com.
Lincoln Park. From Zero World Tour 2025.
You ready?
Yes, you got me open just to watch me. Live in Phoenix. Footprint Center, Saturday, September 6th, with special guest Gene Dawson. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit lincolnpark.com.
When you hear crunch, whine, boing, Alaskan AC will arrive to fix it in less than 24 hours from the first crunch, whine, boing. No matter what kind of crunch, whine, or boing your AC is making. We fix it on your schedule.
That's huge. We guarantee to be there in 24 hours or less, or the repair is free.
We not only get there fast, we Polar Bear promise we'll get the job done right.
We believe you deserve fresh air free of humidity in every room of your home, and you should never hear crunch, whine,
boing.
If you do, call Alaskan AC, and we guarantee we'll be there in under 24 hours.
If we don't make it, your repair will be free.
No matter how big the crunch, boing,
or whine.
Wait, I thought I was whine.
You're crunch.
I'm crunch. You're boing.
I don't think I'm boing. Gary's more of a boing than me.
William is crunch.
Schedule now and tell us who boing is. Only at AlaskanAC.com.
Looking to sell your home? Hi, I'm Andrew the Home Buyer, and I love making it easy to sell your house. I'll personally come and give you a cash offer the same day we meet, and I'll beat any other offer. It really is that easy to sell your home, and no need to clean or fix anything. I'll buy it in as-is condition. Call me, Andrew the Home Buyer, today to get your same-day cash offer. Visit AndrewTheHomebuyer.com.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I'm Kevin Rowe from Lerner & Rowe, and we've been serving Arizonans for 20 years. Make the best choice after an accident. Call 977-1900. That's 977-1900.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900. 977-1900.
Attention all clones. The Jim Rome Show is here for you every day here on KDUS AM 1060.
Lots to get done. Welcome to the program.
Listen in as Rome dives into the biggest sports headlines of the day. From final scores, player contracts and trades, team prospects, and even a spicy take or two. The Jim Rome Show, 1 to 4 p.m. every weekday here on KDUS AM 1060.
That's the trick.
Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Make sure you download the KDUS AM 1060 app. Your way to take us with you on the go. While you're listening over there, you can listen for your chance to win 4 tickets to the Diamondbacks when they take on the Padres this Sunday, June 15th at Chase Field. Spend Father's Day. Spend a day with Dad at Chase Field and get them the Father's Day polo shirt. Only the first 15,000 dads will receive one. You got your chance to win 4 tickets for listening on the KDUS AM 1060 app or streaming on KDUS1060.com, or you can get your tickets at dbacks.com/SGT. Got an email from Paul earlier in the program. Vassell. He gave me the pronunciation. Vassell. So, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, he emailed in and said, hey, here's the pronunciation. You're welcome. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. Vassell. 14 days from now is the NBA draft. That piece of information shocked producer Evan this morning when I shared it with him.
It's crazy.
14 days. We have spent, now this is, the NBA draft is not the NFL draft. Nothing is the NFL draft. But I think we have spent less time focusing on the draft because the Suns have so many other things going on.
Yeah, I mean, you really overlook it.
Changed their GM, coaching search, constant Ishbia drama, Kevin Durant trade. I mean, there's just so many other things that the draft hasn't become a central focus. Perhaps it will here over the following 2 weeks as we get closer and closer to the draft happening. But it just has become somewhat of an afterthought, somewhat of a just not discussing it as much as you would probably any other year. Now, you pick towards the back part of it, so that also plays a role. But this team, we think, in their trade discussions with a bunch of other teams about Kevin Durant, and oh, by the way, there's reporting now that the Knicks are out of the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. So you can scratch them off the list. I don't know, producer Evan, if you're keeping track of the list for the summer of Durant, all the teams that are interested.
Writing it down.
Well, you can take the Knicks off the list. Don't write them down. keep their name off the list.
Off.
Reporting out that they are not going to be trading for him. Stephen Bondy, who covers the Knicks for the New York Post, reporting that the Knicks are not in the mix for Kevin Durant. So off the list. So that leaves us comparing this news with the Shams news. That leaves us with Timberwolves, Heat, Spurs, Rockets, mystery teams.
Any guesses on the mystery team?
Well, mystery teams.
Teams.
Shams said wild card teams. Dallas comes to mind.
I have two, and Dallas is one of them.
Trying to think if there's another team. The Warriors, maybe?
Oh, they weren't on my list.
Maybe.
Sixers.
The Sixers. Well, they're not tearing it down there in Philadelphia. Could the Hawks maybe?
It's another team that's interesting.
They were interested in him at the deadline, right? I think they picked up the phone and called.
Did you list Miami, by the way?
I did put Miami on the list.
Okay.
Memphis, I think, called, but I don't think KD would want to go to Memphis. Just trying to think of teams that might have been interested at the deadline that would be interested again now to be a wild card team.
The two that came to mind for me were Dallas and Philadelphia. Feels like a team that they would be like, well, I just feel like there would be reporting on the Hawks.
I have a feeling there would be reporting on the 76ers.
I don't know. I feel like they're weird. They could be telling them don't say anything yet.
Of the teams left, the Spurs, the Rockets, the teams we think are left, the Spurs, the Rockets, the Heat, and the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have always made a ton of sense to me. They finalized all of the ownership stuff. So new owners coming in there want to make a splash. Anthony Edwards idolized Kevin Durant. That would be a big move. Might be the missing piece that puts them over the top. They make a ton of sense. We debated how much sense it made for Houston and San Antonio. I've kind of walked back my feelings on San Antonio and have said that it actually does make some sense for them to try to bring in KD to push over the top to get into the playoffs, to start opening their window. But it depends. KD apparently really wants to sign a long-term extension. He's eligible for a 2-year extension this offseason to add on to the 1-year $54.7 million that he has on his deal. So what teams are interested in giving him that extension? Are there teams on this list that say, hey, we like you as a 1-year rental. We don't like you if it comes with we need to sign the extension? Because the Suns may do it as a sign and trade. They may get him to the extension and then make the move to move him someplace else. There may be teams that don't want Kevin Durant for the next 3 seasons. They're really only interested in the next year as a rental. That actually could be the thing. He is 36 years old. He does take up a lot of your cap. Do you want to commit yourself to a 3-year window with him and kind of lock your roster into place? Some teams may not be comfortable with that. That leads us to the draft conversation. The Suns are probably prioritizing at least some level of draft compensation in the KD trade, getting some picks in this year's class to take more swings, to have more lottery tickets available to them. We know Houston has the Suns pick at 10. We know San Antonio has picks 2 and 14. I don't think 2 is available. 14 may or may not be available. So there could be a draft component to this. And I'm all for the Suns getting as many swings as they can. The best way for you to try to dig yourself out of this hole is to have as many lottery tickets possible. Because not all those lottery tickets are going to pay off. Not every scratcher pays out the jackpot. But give me enough scratchers, and I can probably recoup my money. I can probably make a tiny profit. So give me as many lottery tickets as possible, and hopefully one of those lottery tickets is the jackpot. One of them is the Mega Millions. The Powerball. I don't play the lottery, so I don't know what the...
Let me give you a better example.
Okay. You didn't like my lottery example?
No, I thought it was good.
Okay.
You said you didn't play the Powerball, so
You just think there's one better. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying at a craps table, you bet enough numbers. One of them's bound to hit.
Right, you cover your bases. Give me all the numbers. Give me all the numbers. I'll take the 4. I'll take the 5. Give me the 8. Give me the 9. Give me the 10.
The 6.
Give me everything. Give me a bet on the field. Give me everything. Covering my bases. So on this roll, I'm making money. That's when the 7 comes. When you've got all that money on the table, that's when the 7 normally.
Yeah.
I have a buddy, speaking of craps, I have a buddy who plays with the house, plays the alternative strategy.
He plays against the pass line. I hate that guy. And I'll tell you why. Because craps is fun because everybody at the table is rooting for the shooter.
Okay, so would it make you feel better if we were doing this at the bubble craps table where you're not rolling the dice and everyone's playing on the virtual machine? Do you feel a little better about the strategy?
Feel way better about it.
Now, he has done it at the actual table.
Don't like it.
Craps is a vibes game.
It's a total vibes game.
And that he's
because
not
it is just rolling dice.
Right. He's not bringing vibes.
No, not bringing vibes at all. We were in Vegas. My one buddy turned 21 and he's from Vegas. So we just stayed at his house and went over to the circuit. And there was one guy who just wouldn't stop betting against the pass line. Like, don't pass line. And our buddy went on a run for us that was life-changing.
But see,
and by that I mean $250. So
but see, having that person at the table could also bring the vibes up because now you're just
I'm sticking it to him.
Even though it doesn't change the outcome on the dice, there's part of you that's like, I'm gonna get that guy. I'm gonna roll, and he's just gonna keep putting the money down, and he's just gonna keep losing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I love looking at him every time, too.
You're like, yeah.
You toss him a look.
Yeah. Money's coming my way, not your way, pal. So the Suns not playing that strategy. They need to play the strategy of covering their numbers. Having all the lottery tickets. Whatever analogy you want to use. They want to be able to get as many young players into this system as possible under Jordan Ott and develop them. The Suns want to become a draft and develop organization. They need to become a draft and develop organization. That is their way out of this mess. We got one more segment for you here on the program, the leftovers. All the stories that we didn't get to throughout the course of the program. We'll check in on the baseball game as well. The Diamondbacks are underway at Chase Field, the finale of their 3-game set with Seattle. So we'll get to it all next. The lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Ready to tackle each morning with the best sports information coming at you?
I'm going to take a logical approach.
Get that weekday mornings on KDUS AM 1060 from 6 to 9 a.m. with the Dan Patrick Show. Dan Patrick, the Danettes, sports icons, sports legends, celebrities, poll questions. The Dan Patrick Show has it all.
It's a crapshoot.
Be sure to lock your dials to AM 1060 or 100.7 HD2 from 6 to 9 a.m. Mornings just got better.
This story is about us.
I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Every time one of my children started driving, it was terrifying. I am quite aware of the dangers being on the road. Thousands of accidents happen across the country. We see it every day. These families' lives will be changed in an instant. We fight for these families as if they were our own. We've become America's largest injury law firm by winning cases just like these. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us.
Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hosier presents the Unreal Unearthed Tour 2025, live in Phoenix. Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater, October 7th. With special guest, Amble. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The #1 album, Unreal Unearthed, is available everywhere. For more, visit hosier.com.
Come visit the all-new Wecopa Casino Resort, formerly Fort McDowell Casino. Whether you're visiting for slots, table games, the Valley's favorite bingo hall, golf, or food, our new smoke-free casino resort is the place to be. Enjoy a fine dining experience like no other at Ember, or go for the lively crowd at WKP Sportsbook and Bar. Wecopa offers 2 top 10 golf courses in the state, and the resort with heated pools and cabanas is the perfect place to relax. Come experience Wecopa Casino Resort today. At Wecopa, we have the best of it all.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Join in on the Sports Zoo on your ride home from work with Dave Rooster Bierstein. Join Rooster as he lays down what's happening around sports and makes it clear what's on his mind.
Oh, my.
Catch the day's craziest stories and some of the latest numbers from the sports books across the valley. The Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a wild option.
Weekdays 5 to 6 p.m. on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Back to wrap up today's edition of the program. Jim Rome coming up at the top of the hour. We close out the show the way we do every single day here, the leftovers, all of the stories that we did not get to throughout the course of the program. So our producer Evan steps in. Take it away, my friend.
Little game update. Seattle scored 1 in the first inning. It's 1-0 on a Jorge Polanco single. D-backs coming up here in the bottom of the first. You are going to hate this first one.
Okay.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I already know the drop you're going to use. But Aaron Rodgers showed up to Steelers mini camp. Who cares?
They do not care.
With a wedding ring.
Yeah, don't care. You know, even better.
Who cares?
Don't care.
Yeah. I think he's going off for the Steelers this year.
Steelers, Aaron Rodgers, Jets, Aaron Rodgers.
We are same, but different, but still same.
I agree. Same player. Same player he was when he won back-to-back MVPs a few short years ago.
No, not that player.
Also, another great thing. So he can't wear his helmet that he's worn for his whole career anymore.
I did see this. He was not happy about this.
He's not happy. I love a good helmet dispute. The last one with AB was awesome. You missed that because you don't like Hard Knocks. But
no. See, this is where it proves my point. I didn't miss that, and I still didn't watch the show because everybody talked about it. I didn't need to watch the show because everybody tweeted about AB and his stupid helmet.
Wasn't stupid. He didn't like the helmet. It was a big problem. Who cares? I knew you would hate this. But anyway, besides the point, Rodgers got married. Who cares? And I just want to get, again, you're going to push this button again. I respect this guy. How does he keep it so private? People are so interested. And somehow he kept it so private. Who cares? MLB's top pitching prospect, Jacob Mizorowski. Who cares? Is going to make his debut tonight for the Brewers. 6'7", and he throws heat.
Yeah, big, tall. It's what the Brewers are good at, man. They just develop prospects.
They do.
They're really good at it. They need some pitching prospects to help them this season. And yeah, I always love when Roman Anthony got called up the other day. It was super exciting to see that. I love when one of the top prospects in the game gets called up to the big league level.
I think it's tons of fun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had fun with it.
We did. And then not so much fun, but
it was not as fun.
But it was fun at first.
It was fun at first, yes.
ESPN wrote an article today ranking all 68 Power 4 football teams. We're not going to go through all 68 of them.
I was debating between two drops, but no, I decided against it. Go ahead.
Number 64 on the list. Any guesses? Why would I bring this up?
The University of Arizona?
The University of Arizona.
Just very specific.
Wow.
You just went
number
through this,
64.
You went through this whole thing of I'm not going to go through all 68, and then you wanted to start with 64. I was ready to.
Who?
I was ready.
Cares? You care.
I do care.
64 sucks.
To take the ASU hat off for just a second. I didn't hate the hire of Brennan when they made it.
No, I didn't either.
I thought it was a great pivot when they got left holding the bag. Right? Jed Fish left not in the middle of the night, but left just when things were getting good there, just when he had turned things around, and he just left the program to clean up and try to keep it afloat. I liked Brennan as a hire, had ties to the university. I thought, okay, it's not splashy, it's not sexy, it's not going to win the press conference, but it may be exactly what they need. Boy, was I wrong.
Yeah, no, it's been really bad.
It has been really bad down there.
It's been really bad. But Sparky and the Arizona State Sun Devils finding themselves at 12.
Oh, I was going to guess, but all right.
Oh,
12.
Sorry.
I'll guess 12.
You got it. They are 12th. And they are the top-rated Big 12 team.
Oh, so somebody actually put some respect on ASU's name as the top Big 12 team.
Yes, ESPN put some respect as the top Big 12
What
team.
was the story? It was a leftover story a couple of weeks ago that ASU was not listed as one of the top Big 12 teams.
Yeah, they're not the betting favorite.
Not the betting favorite. That's what it was. We were looking at the odds to win the Big 12, and they were not the betting favorite.
They're not the betting favorite, and they still aren't. The Iowa State Cyclones are the next one, and they are at, do you want to guess this one?
The Iowa State Cyclones are at 19.
Money.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Money.
I don't have the list in front of me. The two teams that met in the Big 12 championship last year.
Yes.
It was very one-sided, that Big 12 championship game.
Yeah.
For the two sides.
Also, I love, by the way, the Diggs thing is awesome too. We won't touch on that, but not awesome, but funny. Have you seen this?
No.
He's at camp now, right? And he's messing around. Like, I don't even know if he's participating in the drill.
He's just being Stephon Diggs?
He's just being Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Vrabel said he's doing everything he needs to do. I mean, they're just moving past the video of him doing whatever he was doing on the boat.
And then I love these on Fox Sports, and I want to look into it. So they take an old draft, and they gave 2019 draft best top 10 players in the 2019 draft.
Oh, I thought you were going to hit me with they redrafted. There's nothing I hate more
than a redraft.
Like I can mark it down. We're going to do a segment probably around the beginning of October, and it's going to be a month into the season, redrafting the 2025 NFL draft. Perhaps for just a moment, you let one season play out before you do the redraft stories. That's where I thought you were going. I'm glad you're not. Sorry. Please continue.
Number 1 was the number 2 pick, Nick Bosa. Number 2, the Las Vegas Raiders selected Max Crosby. Number 3 is A.J. Brown. And number 4, do you have a guess?
I'm assuming since you're bringing this up in the leftovers and considering the teams that we cover here on this show, this is something Cardinals related.
This is.
Now, this is a real test of my memory to try to figure out what happened in the 2019 NFL draft for the Cardinals. So I'm going to try to work through it together. Let's go backwards. Let's just try to work backwards. I know who they drafted this year, Walter Nolan. I know who they drafted last year, Marvin Harrison Jr. and Darius Robinson. So that was 2024. I know in 2023, they took Paris Johnson. That gets me to the 2022, and I got to go 3 more drafts. This is the pre-COVID draft. See, man, anything pre-COVID, it just all blurs together. Still on the roster, clearly.
Yes.
This is somebody I'm just clearly missing. This is Trey McBride.
No, it's not. It's
not Trey
Kyler
McBride.
Murray.
It's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's on this list?
Kyler Murray is 4th.
Everybody's trying to run him out of town. He's 4th on this list? No wonder I didn't think of him. No shot.
After everything that has gone down, he's 4th on the list.
4th?
Above Dexter Lawrence, Jeffrey Simmons, Josh Jacobs, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin.
4th. Shout out to whoever wrote this story. The first positive story I've seen this offseason about Kyler Murray.
Like, if you told me Nick Bosa, Max Crosby, A.J. Brown,
Kyler Murray, put him on the list. No, that doesn't make any sense at all.
That's awesome.
I mean,
that's a great sign for the Cardinals.
That is the first positive story I have seen this offseason about Kyler Murray.
Listen, I know I'm not a fan, but I do think he gets a little overhated.
Yes.
Like, it is.
Again, look at his numbers from last year. He wasn't a bottom of the league quarterback. He was around middle of the road. Does he need to be better? No question about it. But I'll use my team. This fan base acts like he's Zach Wilson. This fan base acts like he is Jamarcus Russell, like he's the bust of all busts. It's just not.
Zach Wilson made some throws that
Kyler Murray makes some throws. Kyler Murray makes a lot of throws.
Yeah. Listen, I understand the knock on him that he's not a winner. I get it.
If the knock you want to have on Kyler Murray is that he hasn't won a big game, yeah.
I can't argue against you.
No, not just that I won't argue against you. I agree with you. That doesn't mean he's a bad quarterback. It just means he hasn't checked that box yet. It's a
Kirk
difference.
Cousins hasn't won a big game.
There's a difference between those two things.
I think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback.
For the longest time, what was Matt Stafford? Hadn't won a big game. That's going to do it for us here today on the lunch break. Jim Rome coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Wednesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya!